Hello and welcome to the Media Hub iPad training. My name is Eldon Adkin. Let's get started. On our iPad, we have our lights, cameras, and our audio controls. Looking at the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see a little light bulb. That is where you'll find the lights. Here, you'll find the 4 sections we have for lights. The news desk, which is for the left-hand side of the studio, above the smaller desk. The podcast lights, that are above the bigger desk, the background lights, which are behind all the desks, and our flex space, which is on the right-hand side of the studio in the empty corner. When looking at the lights, we keep news desk at a 75 and the other 3 lights at 50% brightness. Beside each of the brightnesses, you'll see a scale which controls the temperature of the lights. We keep this in line with the 75% button. Moving on to the cameras, you look at the right-hand side again and select the little camera option below the light bulb. Here you get to see 4 different options for our cameras. The camera pan and rotate buttons, as well as a zoom function. We use these to set up the best angles and shots for each camera for each person seated. And this will always be different for each person who's on the show. Lastly, we have our audio. This is where all the audio goes through before going to the TriCaster. The big buttons to look for are the podcast mics 1 through 4. You'll see these are in the channel 1 through 6, which is highlighted green. The mics go left to right when facing them, 1 to 4, and then mic 5 and 6 are currently bonus mics. You'll see all of these have the mute button highlighted red, which means they are muted. On channel 7 through 12, you see the news desk mics. In here, you have mic 7 and 8. We also have flex mics 9 and 10, as well as the TriCaster and the iMac. The same applies for all these being muted, except for TriCaster and iMac, which should never be muted because this is where our audio comes from. When counting hosts in from music breaks, if the hosts have their headphones on, you can hold the talkback button. You'll see it turn green as it's held. Now you have a direct line from your mic in the ceiling to the host's headphones. This will not be heard during the breaks and allows us to give the hosts a 10-second countdown. Verbally, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And at 5 seconds, you'll stop counting verbally. Unmute the mics. As you can see, they will turn gray when you unmute them. And use your fingers to show 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, finishing with a point. This point lets the host know they are now live. When going to a music break, the host will say, "You are watching whatever, I'm whoever, on riotradio.ca. That .ca or live from the Media Hub, those two are our buzzwords to get us ready to mute them again. When muting them, you will see it goes from gray back to red. And there you have it. That has been our iPad training video. I hope you enjoyed, and I can't wait to see you in the studio. Hello and welcome to the DCSA Media Hub's Volunteer Technician Training. This video is going to cover how we use Apple Music in our shows and how you will be using it with us. When looking at the Apple Music home screen, it can be overwhelming, but don't worry, I'll go over all of that. Starting off, we have the search bar. Like Spotify or YouTube Music, it works the same way. You type in the artist name or the song title. Sometimes you even spell the artist name wrong. You hit enter or search, and it will take you to the respective page. From there, you can click the 3 dots beside the song you want to add, and then add it to the playlist you want it to be in. Heading back over to the playlist that you just added it to, you will now see it at the bottom of the page after all the songs that were added before it. We also have hosts 2 through 6 that we work in. These numbers dictate the show's time in the day, 1 being the first show, 2 being the second show, and so on all the way to host 6. When looking at host 2, you will see that some songs have a C next to them. The C means the song is clean. This happens with songs like rap or hip hop that maybe have swearing in them. If it has an E next to it, it means the song is explicit and those things haven't been taken out. This means it should not be played, and a clean version should be found if able. If a clean version can't be found, we ask the host to pick a different song, or if they can't, we can work some Riot Radio magic. Looking back at host 1, we see our list of songs. Beside each song is a box, and when clicked, the box has a check mark. This check mark tells us that that song is queued to play next. You can play the song without checking the box, but it's always good practice to make sure it's checked. When clicking on the song we want to play, we always double click in the box of the song title, but never on the song title. Double clicking the song title can on occasion go to rename the song title, and that way it's not playing. Single clicking always highlights it, so double clicking is the way to go. While a song is playing, if you hover your mouse over the bar at the top of the screen, it will show you how long the song has until it's done and how much time has elapsed. It's important to know how much time is left for our cues. Our 3 cues are a 1-minute cue, a 30-second cue, and a 10-second countdown that is verbally done until 5 seconds, where you just use your fingers. This will be covered more in the iPad video for muting and unmuting purposes, but it does pertain to some things here, so that's why I talked about it. When checking multiple songs, this tells Apple Music to play all the songs you've checked. They will always play from top to bottom, and you will always click the first song that is to play. You'll always know which song to play and the order by looking at the script the hosts have provided us. If you ever have any doubts the songs aren't going to play, you can always check the 3 dots and 3 lines in the top right-hand corner of the screen. This opens up the Songs Queued tab. In this tab, you'll see the songs that are to be played. You can clear them by clicking the Clear button, and we make sure this is done before and after each show so that there are no slip-ups. Sometimes, when you click the box of another song too late, it might not show up in the playlist or at all. This happens when sometimes hosts like to add songs to a break, or occasionally the script is too long and it cuts off at the end of the page. That's okay. You can then find the song in the playlist, click on those 3 dots, and hit play next. The last thing to know is how to fade down a song. This happens when hosts want to come in early from song breaks, or if a song has dead air towards the end of it. To do this, look at the top right-hand corner of the screen, not where the cue button is, but to the left of that. You will see the volume bar. Clicking on the dots and dragging it slowly to the left will bring the volume down all the way to 0. We do this while counting in the host or hosts from our 10-second count, and that's that. Afterwards, pause the song and bring the bar back to full volume. And there you have it. I'll be doing hands-on training and refreshing training once you sit down in the chair behind the scenes. This is more to show you what to expect and, of course, for you to look at afterwards if you have any questions or you think you can figure it out by just watching the video. This has been the DCSA Media Hub Volunteer Technician Training only on riotradio.ca.